If you're in the market for a new car stereo that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, chances are you've been checking out Sony's XAV range. Today, we're going to be comparing the AX3000 system that I've got in my Ranger to the AX5000 system that Bianca's got in her WRX. What's up guys? It was only a couple of months ago that I installed the AX3000 system in the Ranger, finally bringing it into the modern age, and in the months since I've been absolutely loving the CarPlay system. So easy to use, so convenient, that voice control just works perfectly. So when the time came for Bianca to upgrade the stereo in her new baby, naturally I suggested going for the AX3000 system as well. But of course she had to one-up me and went for the slightly more expensive AX5000 system instead. But what that means is we've now got both systems right here ready to go to do a direct side-by-side comparison and figure out what's what. So first up, let's talk cosmetics. Here's both stereos side by side, and we can see that there's virtually no difference whatsoever in the physical appearance of the two. The bottom panel is a slightly different color, but the shape, button layout, and overall design is identical. Moving on to the stereo performance side of things, both stereos put out 55 watts of power to your speakers, both have 3 amplifier pre-outs, and both have a 10-band graphic equalizer. Okay, let's talk about the performance of the interface itself, starting with how quick the unit powers up after the keys have been turned on. So both units start up pretty quickly, but the AX5000 unit does win by a couple of seconds. How about how long the CarPlay or Android Auto interface takes to show up after you plug your phone in? Virtually no difference in how quick CarPlay loads. In regards to how well the touchscreens work on both units, they both work really well, but the AX5000 system is slightly more responsive and smoother to operate. The reason the screens differ here is because they use quite different technology to operate. The AX3000 system uses what's called a resistive touchscreen, which is pretty old technology now. Don't get me wrong, it is a great example of a resistive touchscreen. I've had a few different head units in the past and this one works the best by far, but the AX5000 system uses what's called a capacitive touchscreen. It's the same technology you'll find in your smartphone or your tablet and it works absolutely brilliantly. Not too much to say about the screen quality. They both have the same 800 by 480 resolution, the exact same brightness, and they both have a 400:1 contrast ratio. That being said, even though the specs are identical, Bianca and I both found that the colors look a little bit more vibrant on the AX5000. Another area we've noticed a bit of a difference in is in direct sunlight. The AX5000 system is a bit easier to see in direct sunlight, which is probably thanks to its capacitive screen. So the only differences between the two units so far has been the screen and the loading speed. Is there anything else that sets these two units apart? Well, the AX5000 has 2 more features that the AX3000 doesn't have. It has a second USB port that can be used for charging, so you can give your passengers somewhere to charge their phone while yours is plugged into the main slot. And it also has a satellite radio connection in the back. So while the AX5000 is a bit more expensive, it does have a few extra features to try and justify that price. The colors on the screen are a bit more vibrant, the screen itself is a bit more responsive and smooth to interact with, it turns on that little bit quicker, it's got that second USB port so your passenger can charge their phone, and it's got support for satellite radio if that's something that's of interest to you. So whether or not those extra features are enough to justify the hike in price is probably just going to come down to your own personal opinion. In my opinion, I think the AX3000 represents a bit better value for money. The screen still works really well, even though it's not quite as good as the 5000, and so I think price included, that would be my pick. What do you reckon, Bianca? What's your pick of the two? This is Bianca's WRX with the AX5000.
Yeah, so I'll start off by saying when I went to get my head unit, I was actually going to buy the AX3000, the same as Daniel's, because obviously we've used it in the Ranger for a long time and it's tried and tested. I knew it was exactly what I needed in a head unit, so that's what I was going to go for. When I went to the shops, they didn't have any AX3000s in store anywhere near us, and I am the person who likes instant gratification. I decided that day I was doing an entire sound system install in my car, and so the only one available was the AX5000. So I ummed and ahed about about it and eventually went for it. In saying that, I do not regret it. In my opinion, it was absolutely worth the extra money. And the other thing that I really like about the 5000 is the touchscreen. So Daniel already said, yes, the 3000's touchscreen is good, but the 5000 is a lot better in my opinion. It's just like using your touchscreen on your phone, whereas Daniel's feels like it's got like a plastic sleeve over it. It just feels a little bit, I don't know, not tacky, that's horrible. But yeah, I definitely prefer the 5000. So yeah, I guess value for money, I agree, the 3000. But if you're someone like me who likes to have the top quality, top of the market thing, and not just so you can say you've got the best, but because it actually is a bit better, then yeah, definitely worth the money for the 5000. But yeah, they're both good head units.
Absolutely, I couldn't have said it much better myself. So hopefully this video has given you guys a couple of extra points to consider when trying to work out which head unit's right for your car. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.